welcome, Josh. Welcome to Gear Anxiety here at La Bestia Radio from Mexico City. We're live from Mexico City. It's a huge honor to have you here today. Thank you so much for taking the time. How are you?
I'm doing really great. Really honored to be on the show. Super cool. I love tech. This is when I like technology.
Awesome. Me too.
Yeah.
We are all very excited. We have a lot of fans of yours listening to you right now. So we're gonna start talking a bit about you and about JHS.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, do you remember the first pedal you owned?
Yes, I have some stuff here for you.
Oh, great.
I think it was this, the Zoom 505.
Oh, wow.
It's like a horrible multi-effects pedal, but it's so good. It's so bad and good at the same time. Yeah, I think this was it. I bought it in a pawn shop.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old were you?
I would have been like 17, and I probably like mowed my grandma's yard or lawn and like went and bought this or something. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Did you ever modify it or did something to it?
No, it's just as it came, just stock. It's kind of cool because, you know, this is old. It's before stuff like Line 6 when digital got pretty good, but it has all the different effects in it. So it's kind of a sampler, which is really cool. For a young player, I was able to see like, what does a compressor do and what is reverb? So it's pretty cool.
Oh, okay. Wow. Very cool, Josh. Thank you. It's really cool that you have it there to show it to us. So I understand that you started like by modifying and repairing your own pedals, right? How did you go from there to creating your company?
Yeah, I started because I had a Boss pedal, a blues driver, and its foot switch broke. And I fixed the foot switch, which is anyone can do that. It's essentially what's in a computer keyboard, the little button. It's this little momentary button. And I fixed that, and I felt like Einstein or something. I was very proud of myself. Yeah. Then I got really into how they work, and I had a Robert Keeley modified blues driver. And then I took his apart, and I was like staring at the two, and I started going back and forth, and yeah, just self-teaching myself. Why does his sound this way? Yeah. And then I eventually that led to being brave enough to etch a few circuit boards and try to make something of my own, sort of, you know, like my own spin on a famous thing. So yeah.
Oh, wow.
Very DIY.
Yeah, I love it. And talking about DIY, I love the Notaklön, which I think it was a great success. Did you expect the great success it has had?
I expected success, but what we saw was like so far beyond what we've ever seen with success. You know, I said we'd sell like 3,000 to 5,000, and I'm always the optimist here. And then my partners, you know, they're like, their job is to be conservative and to rein me in because I can be crazy. And they were like, yeah, we don't know. I mean, 20,000 is astronomical for us. So we're really proud of that. It definitely connected with people in a special way.
Yeah, definitely. There's people here who's saying that they're waiting for their order for a Notaklön here in Mexico. So I think it's pretty cool. Yeah.
So awesome.
So awesome. Are you planning to do another, like not the Notaklön, but another effect, also like a DIY kit?
Yeah, the moment I saw the reaction, I was like, okay, we'll do this next. So we're already,
definitely, it's
a no-brainer because as JHS, a main goal is just to make sure people have fun, you know, and connect with each other. And I think the Notaklön is such a special thing because it, like, even parents and their kids and just like, I love that. As much as music, I love connecting people. So I was immediately thinking, we got to do another one. It's like Legos for guitar, you know. It's very special.
Yeah, it's pretty great, and I think people learns a lot.
Yeah.
And really like attached to the pedal, because if you build it, it's like it's different.
Yeah, so when you build it, it sounds better.
Yeah, definitely. Pretty cool. So how do you How do you balance innovation with maintaining a connection to classic or vintage tones in your pedal designs?
Yeah, I saw this question. I think my favorite part of what I do now, early in my career, so I'm 15 years in, early in my career, I would stress out over being original. Like, I gotta do something no one's done.
Mm-hmm.
When I stopped acting like that, I think I actually have made more original things.
Okay.
So I started studying history and teaching on the channel, and like, I love history. I love who invented it, why did they invent it. So as I've done that, I've been inspired to make things from the past, bring them back to life. So that's my balance. I think right now, my inspiration is history. And so things like this, I put these on here to show you, like my Legends of Fuzz.
Okay.
These are just directly from me studying weird, obscure circuits and then giving a tribute to the past. And in that, there's something new that's never been made. So that's really fun.
Wow, yeah. Love it. Pretty cool, Josh. Thank you. Thank you also for showing us the pedals you have there. I love it. Are there any classic pedals that you feel that are underrated?
Classic pedals underrated. The problem is, I think every pedal's I feel like there's thousands of cool pedals that don't get a lot of attention because maybe they don't have a hip graphic or something, and it's like, there's so many cool things. So to be specific, which is hard, I mean, we relaunched Ross. I really loved that brand. I felt Ross was always underrated. I think a lot of the 90s builders who made boutique, they kind of brought back handmaking. There's so many amazing, like Barber Electronics is one of my favorite brands of all times. Nobody talks about him. So there's a lot of stuff that gets lost. But I think some of the best pedals ever made that are better than stuff out right now, they just got lost because pre-internet, right before the internet, there was some super cool stuff, and then it just kind of gets lost.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay. So, you mentioned graphics. Do you think the art of the pedal is important, like to make a good presentation that talks about the sound?
Yeah, I think the art, I would strongly, my strong opinion, I can't say fact because that's obnoxious, but my opinion is that people buy a pedal as much for how it looks and feels visually than they do how it sounds. And I think there's proofs of that. There's proofs everywhere. So with, when I look at something, I pulled this out. This is a mid 70s tone bender. I mean, it's like, it's beautiful.
Yes.
But then you look at why is it this way? What's cool is this is what London looked like in 1975. So that's very important. I think the look of a pedal tells us about what's going on. This graphic, the artist was a guy who drew Spider-Man for Marvel. So that's why it looks like this. So there's the art really matters. And then when I started a brand, I wanted to have happy pedals because everybody was too serious when I started, just like sad and serious. So I was like, I want to make pedals that are colorful. So, I was paying tribute to this little box.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that story's there. The orange squeezer, there's the orange slice.
Yeah.
So the art tells a story for sure.
Okay, I love it. Yeah, I love that reference. Yeah. Really cool. Yeah. So about the 3 Series, I love it that it's all white. It's like straight.
Which one do you have there?
I have the phaser, the Hall reverb, and I also have the flanger, which is stuck to my pedal board right now, which I can get. So I have these 3 and the cheese ball, who's also stuck in my pedal board. But I really like, that it's just white and it just says like the effect. So tell me a bit about the 3 Series.
Yeah, the 3 Series idea came from, I love designing with a limitation. So any kind of art, if you're a painter, try to paint a painting with 2 colors. It's so hard, but at the same time, you'll think differently. And I like designing circuits with rules, saying like, I can't do anything, from this. I have to be very limited. So the deal was, I started thinking about could I make a pedal line that had like 3 controls? They all shared an enclosure. That would be economical for manufacturing. I could use the same cases. And then the designs could be limited and simple so that people wouldn't get overwhelmed. And then just give them a very practical name, you know, almost like you're at the grocery store and it's like tomato sauce, you know, like Phaser.
Yeah.
And it worked. For me, it was something really simple to kind of counteract the complexity of a lot of pedals lately. Like some of my close friends, one of my best builder friends is Chase Bliss, Joel.
Oh, okay.
His pedals are like a spaceship. I love them, but I was like, that's just not me. I'm really boring. Like, I love the simple. And so the 3 Series is me, just the simplest thing I could do for design and user.
Okay, I love them because they're like super friendly, like to use, and for using them live, it's like really easy to just, you know, get the right sound and that's it. So pretty cool. Yeah.
I love that you love them. And I love that you love the cheese ball. The cheese ball is the fuzz on my board. That's of all my fuzz. Yeah,
oh,
it's my
cool.
favorite board. Yeah.
That's cool to know. Wow. Yeah, it's a pretty cool pedal. I like it. So also, Josh, I wanted to ask you, how do you test your pedals before bringing them out to the market?
So a design, making sure people like it, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, like how do you like test, like make sure that it reacts well with like different amps, or like the tone is the right tone?
Gotcha. All the way through the design process. So a design will start with an idea. And the idea might be, let's use an example like cheese ball. Cheese ball was, I love Love Tone, and they had the big cheese, and there wasn't an accurate copy. So that was the idea. I need to do an accurate copy. So all the way through designing that, it's, you know, you're trying it on some stuff, you're making sure it feels good. And then internally, we have what's called an approval team. So JHS is 40 employees, roughly. There's about 8 people here that when we finish a design, it'll be a prototype. Like it might not even have the graphic, but it'll kind of be ready. And we pass that around, and we actually have forms they fill out. Like we test it with amps, and all these different people, guys and girls, different ideas, different rigs, they all kind of fill out a form. It's really crunchy. It's like government work or something. It's silly, but that lets us go, like, a lot of different people here had an opinion, and if there's no catastrophic problems, then we put it out.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you try the Notaklön, like to make sure people will build it right?
We built it over and over, and we picked the people at, they don't mind me saying this, the people at JHS who should never build a pedal, we made them build it.
I love it. Yeah.
There's a couple people who their job is like, you know, administration and stuff. We made them build the pedals. And once those people built it,
everyone can build it. I love the IKEA manual.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's a great idea. It's like very, I forgot the word in English, but you know, very creative, and like nobody has ever like put out a pedal like that. So I really like it. Can you highlight 1 or 2 pedals that you are particularly proud of?
Yeah, the top of the being proud of list is the color box. The color box was like a monumental moment for the company, in the fact that it's really hard to do something new. And I've learned as I've gotten older, that's not always the best thing creatively. Like I shouldn't worry about making new stuff all the time, like, you know, inventing a new thing. Yeah. The color box is something that had never been done, and it was truly from music I loved. I was listening to, you know, Beatles' White Album, Spoon's one of my favorite bands, Wilco, and there's that sound of, they don't use an amp, they plug into the mixer board, and nobody had ever really done that. And I started wanting to make a device, and it was so hard. It was such a hard project. I technically learned a lot about circuitry. I learned a ton about history, and then just executing a pedal. I mean, I remember having to charge $400 and thinking, this is never going to sell. And it's always been one of our best sellers. Okay. And I'm really proud of that pedal.
Yeah. Okay, nice. The color box.
The color box, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's a great pedal. I've seen it in a lot of pedal boards here at Gear Anxiety.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, do you know any Mexican pedal brands?
I have a couple. So the room, we have a lot of pedals.
Yeah.
A lot. So several thousands and thousands of pedals. I'm not aware of a company, but I've been sent things that people built me.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I have like 4 or 5 pedals that were built by people in Mexico. But I'm actually not. I was gonna ask you. Okay. I was gonna flip it on. Tell me your favorites because I would love to try some stuff.
Yeah, of course. I think it's a market that it's growing in Mexico. Like all the gear and stuff in Mexico, we're starting. There's a lot of people, like entrepreneurs, who are designing their pedals. But there's great stuff. There's a company called Paradox Effects from Tijuana. Okay. They're really good. They have really interesting pedals that you should check out. There's also Neutrino Labs from Mexico City. They have really creative pedals that you can use like for songwriting, which I love. And also there's from Guadalajara, there's Vintage Tone and AFX, and also Tamayo Amp from Mexico, which I recommend you should check them out because they're doing some very innovative stuff. And yeah, they're having
I have a couple of those, and I was
unaware.
Do? Yeah. I'll look these other ones up too.
Yeah.
And anyone you can connect me with, please do.
I will. Yeah, I'll send you an email with those brands so you can check them out. I think you would really like them. They're doing great stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, do you think, like, this is a question apart from the pedals, but do you think cables matter?
I have an unpopular opinion. I don't think they matter.
You don't think they matter?
I think they matter if they suck and like go out on you.
Okay.
But I've never prescribed to the like better sound. I think technically, scientifically, yes, you can measure a cable, you can have it have more treble retained or whatever. But the complication with this question, I'm giving you more than you asked for, so you can tell me to stop. But the one statement is like, people over the years, this is a classic scenario for a pedal guy. I want to sound like Jimi Hendrix. Mm-hmm. And they tell me what they bought. They have like a brand new Paul Reed Smith and like a $40,000 hand-wired amp. And it's like, well, Hendrix used really bad cables, coils, and his amp. It's like, that's what makes it hard, is because sometimes having a cable that is too perfect, it's too good for guitar, because rock and roll is broken. And so I don't think there's a yes or no. That's my like, you just don't want them to break. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's like my big thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, definitely. I agree. So how do you see the future of guitar effects pedals evolving?
I think we've passed through a really interesting doorway where digital is so good. And it was always, since 2000, I think, with the Line 6 DL4, that was late 99. I think something started happening. DSP started being able to produce sounds properly. Now we're in this land where Universal Audio is dropping these amazing digital pedals. You got Source Audio, Chase Bliss, Strymon. I think digital is a game changer. Okay. But I think that there will always be, and I think we'll see an even more resurgence of people wanting simple analog again. It's the same thing where the 1949 Telecaster is still a great guitar. Yeah. And I think as much as we want the digital everything, guitar lives in this weird like trap. And it's a good trap. And we love the simple and we love analog.
Yeah, definitely. It's both sides. Like, depends, right?
Yeah.
Like, how do you use it and what do you use it for? I think digital it's a great option if you tour a lot, maybe, and you need like the right sound for each venue. And analog, maybe it's good for recording or something.
Yeah. I think it's a lot of people love to say, it's all digital, everything's going digital. It's like, no, it just won't, because we still play a Telecaster.
Yeah.
So,
definitely. So talking about digital and all of this new stuff, are there any recent innovations that you find exciting or influential in the pedal design space?
I think back to Universal Audio's their DSP work they've been doing when they started releasing pedals. I think the way they're approaching DSP is really impressive and innovative. Brands like Eventide too. I think the biggest innovations are digital still. Yeah, I think it's like digital's becoming much more friendly, easy, and understandable.
Okay, so Josh, we're about to finish the interview, but I just want to ask you a few things before that. What advice do you have for all of these aspiring entrepreneurs here in Mexico who are creating their new gear and are looking to enter into this music gear industry?
Yeah, a couple points. Number one, be yourself. Whatever that is, be yourself.
Yeah.
Do not try to be anyone else. Do not try to make things just because people tell you to. You need to make the stuff that you want to make, and you need to be yourself, because that's the only way you'll keep going. And number two is you have to keep going. If you just try a year and it doesn't work, that's not how it works. You have to just keep going. I think the most successful people are people who just kept going. And even if that's slow and steady and small, eventually you'll exist while everyone else gave up. So be yourself and keep going.
Awesome. Yes, I love it. I love it. Also, we talked with Felipe from Vitronics, and they have the Be Yourself, but with the B, which I love.
Yep.
So, and
I love that brand. He's amazing.
Yeah, me too. And I love the Be Yourself as well. So that's pretty cool. And also, Mike Matthews told us a similar advice. So thank you, Josh. Can I ask you just? These are very, very short questions. Either yes or no, a very short answer.
Okay.
And we finish. Okay. So, ready?
Ready.
Okay. Billy Corgan or Kurt Cobain?
Kurt Cobain.
What's your favorite Big Muff?
Oh. Muffaletta.
Okay. Awesome. Muffaletta. Japanese pedals or American pedals?
Japanese pedals.
Yep. What's your favorite Pearl Jam song?
Corduroy.
Have you ever been arrested?
No.
What's the best band ever?
Physically impossible answer. Radiohead or the Beatles, one of the two. I don't know.
Okay, cool. Do aliens exist?
Say that one more time.
Do aliens exist?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Okay.
It's a big unit. I don't know. It's too big to say no, but it feels silly to say yes.
Yeah. So last one, Slow Dive or My Bloody Valentine?
Slow Dive.
Okay, awesome. So Josh, thank you so much for taking the time, for being here with me at Gear Anxiety. I hope if you ever come to Mexico, please come to visit us here at La Bestia. This is like a huge music punk house where we have all kinds of pedals. We have the Rust that you were talking about that they brought me here. A lot of JHS stuff, a lot of pedals. They are gear fans, and we would love to have you here. So if you ever come to Mexico, you're super welcome, and let us know. And
it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Sounds so cool.
It's really fun. Have you ever been to Mexico?
No, I've only been like the north. Not really. No, I've never. I want to really bad.
Okay, then we will be waiting for you here at Mexico City at Gear Anxiety.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Thank you so much, Josh.
All right. Thank you.
Have a great day.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.